cut into questions.
All right.
All right, we are live on Facebook Live. Hello, everybody. We're the Podguyz Podcast, bringing it to you as we do every Monday, 10:15 Eastern Standard Time. Tiny bit of technical difficulties. We do have a full entourage of squares, like the Hollywood squares. I'm Tony Cass.
Kevin Neary here.
Of course, we have the ever-loving Picasso, the doer of Diddy. The doer of Diddles?
Diddles?
No, the doer of Doodles. There it is.
There you go.
Doer of Doodles. Liz Barkay in the house.
Hi, Megan. Call me. It's the Podguyz Podcast at gmail.com. Now, Sparky, is he talking to somebody named Megan?
Megan Fox. Yeah, she's out on the wire right now. Anytime you want to give a shout out to Sparky, just reach us through that particular email.
Yep.
He'll hook you up with a great date.
Sparky has nicknamed his dick Rock Bottom because if you have hit it, there you are.
His new name is Little Uzi because he can beat out the Machine Gun Kelly.
There you go. Machine Gun. With a name like Machine Gun, I'll let my daughter go out with him all night, Like last boyfriend she had was named Switchblade. Not tough enough for this family.
No. Jerks. Guys, we are joined by a third, fourth, and fifth square today. We do have the illustrious band called Phazed. Phazed. NEPA's rock band. We are joined by Mike, Andy, and Daniel. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thanks for having us, man. Glad to be here.
Awesome. Daniel looks so stoked. He's like, fuck yeah, man. Love this place. Love coming on the podcast.
He's been looking forward to this all day.
I can tell. He's got that look. Guys, tell us a little bit about yourselves. I'd like to get business out of the way. I know you guys got some stuff going on. You got a big plan on some big shows coming up.
Where do we start?
How about your next big show?
Next show that we have is at the Sherman Showcase on April 19th.
No, is that the Sherman Theater or the Sherman Showcase?
The Showcase.
Okay.
We're playing with two bands, Husk and Revenants. Tickets are on sale right now. And if you go to our Instagram, Phazed Band, it'll be right in the link in the bio and anybody can go. And we'd love to see as many people there as possible.
Oh, yeah.
Now I have to make a note real quick. How did you guys meet? Because you guys kind of look like, and especially Daniel looks like a sub character from the Guy Ritchie movie, where you're like, all right, he's kind of he's kind of
not
tough
to say odd man out, but you're the odd man out, Dan.
How did this heist movie start? How did you guys get together? That's the origin of it all. What happened? Did you guys come from different bands? Did you go to high school together? Sit at a bar, maybe a gym? I don't know.
Well, I kind of started the band back on my own, completely by myself, writing everything, doing all that, 2016. And then I brought in a lead guitar player. He's now the lead guitarist for the band Ultraviolent, Danny Corey. And through Danny, I was able to meet Dan, and we brought him in, and he was a perfect fit. And he's been in the band since 2018, something like that. And Andy here, he joined shortly after Dan did. We went to high school together, and we were in our first band that we formed when we were 16, 17 years old. And I said right from the get-go, if there's one person that I wanted in this with me all over again, it was going to be him.
So was it love at first sight, or was there a little bit of tumultuous behavior, of course?
So I was a bit of a crap student in high school, and I needed the extra tutoring, extra classes and crap like that. So what was it? Algebra 1 or 2? It was 2. It was freshman year. Yeah, freshman year algebra 2. I would go into a different class to get extra time in there to get better because I sucked.
Well, let's be honest, man. The teachers and the curriculum in this area is just really off the.
Oh, yeah.
But like normal areas, and I'm just throwing this out there, they don't have algebra 2 and algebra 1 and algebra. They call it algebra.
Yeah.
You know, like the fucking teachers know how to teach the whole thing where they're like, okay, this teacher is good at teaching algebra to a point.
Yeah.
You're like, wait, what? It's like, it's all right. We'll spoon feed them little bits of it. We'll make it like a fucking sequel.
Yeah. But I was just kind of sitting in that class, with my one buddy Tanner. Me and him got to talking, and that was it. We figured out we liked the same shit, same music, and it just kind of snowballed. And then a couple years, we were juniors in high school when our first band started. Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
so we were.
And that.
What was the name of the band back then?
What's that?
What was the name of the band back then?
Oh God, what the?
It was Degree.
So it was a big joke name. He sent this one silly face into our band chat at that time, and one of them, I don't remember who, one of them put it into like a Google Translator or something like that, and it came out to degree, and we thought, oh well, that's it. That's funny.
Yeah, that's
the name. Hindsight is 2020, and that was a crap name.
It was terrible.
Everything about that was like not very good.
It was almost as bad as Phazed.
10 years from now, you're gonna be like, man, I don't know what the fuck we were thinking. We had this guy in the band. It was Dan. He had that crazy look on his face all the time, ready to fucking choke us out. Remember the time he did? You know, I don't know. Yeah.
Waiting for the day.
Oh, Dan will, if I act like a goof too much, like in the band chat or like when we're loading up for practice or a show or whatever, it doesn't matter. If I start acting like too goofy, he'll look at me and be like, Michael, I'll kill you.
Damn, Daniel.
And it's always absolutely deserved too. He's right. I if there's one thing that I know how to do and that I have fun with more times than not is I know how to press buttons pretty good.
Don't touch me.
Touch me.
You're read between the lines.
Music, though, what would you really, if you were to tell people what genre of music you were, how would you describe it?
Hard rock, metal. One of those two, really.
You would never use the word screamo then, right?
No.
I'd say we're like a blend of hard rock and metalcore influences.
Yeah, no, we're not in 2005. We're not going to call ourselves screamo.
So 2005, that's when it ended. That's when they're like, all right, guys, no one's coming to the shows because we're calling ourselves screamo.
I think there was a lot of other reasons why people weren't going to shows like that back then.
Well, I don't think anyone that actually like went to those shows or listened to that genre between like 2005 to like 2012. Nobody that actually listened to it called it screamo. It was more their parents that called it screamo.
That's very true, yeah.
Are you guys like mosh pit friendly then, right?
Certain songs, yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, like especially the new stuff that we've been writing, like the whole new EP that we have written is basically all like there's something in each song like mosh pit worthy.
Which is what's the name of the EP?
The EP is called Metanoia. So
where can you find it?
It's gonna be at anywhere that you can stream music. It's not out yet. It'll be out, I'd say, in a couple months. There's a couple things that we have to finish up and whatnot with releases and stuff like that before it drops, but it's completely done and we're excited to put it out there.
Are you guys going through any particular production company or like a how you going about the EP itself?
Well,
all self-produced or
I wouldn't say all self-produced. Most of it, yes. We don't like to go to the studio with a song or an idea. We want it to be nearing completion, basically. So a lot of it is self-produced, but obviously when you get into the studio, you have a bunch of ideas flowing through, a bunch of different ones, and you think, okay, well, this thing that we came up for this song sounds better than what we originally wrote. So we'll go with what our producer, Brett Onspach, would, point at whatever direction he would kind of help us with, point us in. And distributing company for it. I release everything. Everything Phazed is released through DistroKid to
Nice.
get it onto it. It puts it on everything. You know, it's a no brainer, and plus it's cheap as hell for what they offer. I think I pay like $50-$60 for the whole year, and you can upload unlimited songs. So if we had 100 songs done this year, we could just put them all out if we wanted to.
That's really sweet.
It is.
I know
cool.
your hit song nodded that Ragnarok.
Uh-huh.
I listened to that to the video earlier today.
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit, these guys are, and it came up to my big question that I was asking about earlier, and I said, how do you still have a voice?
Practice, man. It's obviously like going between like the screaming and then like the cleans, that's hard. Like, you know, that takes a lot of endurance and stamina, especially like since now when we play shows and everything, I'm basically just the front man. I used to hold a guitar and play in previous shows, but now like I'm running around and jumping around and banging my head, so it's a lot of preparation for it ahead of time, just to make sure I know what the heck I'm getting myself into.
Your cardio needs to be on point.
Oh, you'd think so, but I think the last Reverb show that we played, we were playing in Reading. I don't remember what the show was for. It was for Tala.
Yeah.
And I was living in Philly at the time. Like, I was basically coming back to Schuylkill County whenever we had practice or for a show or something like that. But I'm in an apartment in Philly. You don't want to piss anybody off. So I'm not exactly practicing anything too much. So, but by the end of that 25 to 30 minute set, I was winded.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. The video
you're practicing like a pillow biter and you're like,
yeah, the video, I just followed you guys on Facebook here. The video for the song Ragnarok looks really artistically done. I mean, put together very well. Who was who put that together? Was that you or?
We just put the song together, and we figured out like the areas of which we would want the video shot. Everything like vision wise for how the video looks and everything like that was done by Ale over at the Big Break. He was awesome to work with, super nice dude, and I'd recommend anybody to work with him that needs work like that done, because he's truly a visionary with what he does. He goes into a project and knows exactly what he wants, and he, like I said before, we like to goof around a lot, and he knew exactly what to say to us to like get us back on track, like make sure that this got done. We met the deadlines.
Yeah, he had his vision for it. He had scripts ready for it. Like it was very professional.
It's definitely his genre of music too. Like he loved a good hard rock, metal, punk, ska type of thing. But
yeah,
that's where his passion is, man. He loves getting behind a camera. And
I feel like he definitely went above and beyond for us.
Absolutely. And watching the video back now that we have it and everything, I've been saying this entire time, compared to our first video that we got done for our song Gone Tonight, it's not just one step up from that. It's a whole flight of stairs.
Yeah.
And I think we paid
less.
We paid less.
Yeah, we paid less for working with Ale than what we did for our first video, and like the product was absolutely phenomenal. Like we went
out of the water.
Yeah, we couldn't complain.
Yeah, that's why when you're going through certain people, and it just comes with more experience. We've worked with Ale before, not specifically with that kind of stuff, but Tony goes hunting around for guests and stuff, and it's been a very good relationship between us with and Ale. And I swear to you, man, like the one thing people point out about me and Tony is they don't realize how tall we are when we actually get out there. They're like, "Shit, you guys! I didn't think that for a second." And exactly, how good we are on camera and all that nice crap, and to be interviewed and stuff, and especially giving people interviews. We love it when a band like yourself, and by the way, you really have to love music to get into it these days, especially because with Spotify and all the competition out there, it's almost impossible. You can do 10 competitions a year for 10 years straight and still no one ever hear of you. Or, you know, you have to have a band. You have 5 guys on the picture there. We have 3 guys right here. Are we missing some guys?
Oh, so the 3 of us that are in here right now, we are the quote unquote like official members.
Gotcha. And then you have 2 rotators in there.
Yeah, we have 2 different drummers that whoever wants to play the show can play, you know, and they've always been loyal and helped us out when we needed it. So we're grateful for them. We also have 2 different guitar players, Owen Hill and Danny Corey. And whenever whoever wants to play the show, they've always been willing to step up and really help us when needed. And I always say to them as well, you know, you're taking time out of your life to come and help us with our thing. To show appreciation to you, we're gonna, you know, take some cash out of our pocket and whatever basically we've never been stingy with like helping out our friends.
Absolutely
and
not.
Like we had an official drummer a few years ago, Gabe, and he was fun to work with and everything like that. But once he left, we've gone through 3 different fill-ins for drums. And yeah, like it.
That seems like a rinse, wash, and repeat of NEPA bands in general. Like it's hard,
absolutely
really hard to find not to say a drummer that will stick around, but once you're reaching a level, and now quote me if I'm wrong, you get to a plateau, and you're hitting that streak, and you're like, oh shit, here it comes.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden you hit that fucking wall. And it's a wall where you know that if you either you want to scale the wall and jump it, or you're going to hit the wall and crash.
Yep.
And there's a point, and like I said, it happens in NEPA, local music in general. You see a lot of these bands that are coming through, and you have a couple members that are really, really into the band, and then you have other members that are just like, if it happens, it happens. Yeah. I'm not investing 100% into it. I'm not going to devote my life to this, but if it happens, it happens.
Yeah. Yep. That's basically how it's gone down for us over the years. You know, like we have us 3 completely committed to the project, to the vision and everything that I came to the guys with. And, you know, all we've wanted is to expand and grow and try different things. And I you know, we what was it, like last year, something like that? We had another official drummer. He's actually one of the guys that like helps fill in for us from time to time, Ryan Soretti. He's a great dude, and he got a bigger opportunity, so he had to take his exit, which, you know, we understand. That's absolutely fair.
Yeah.
If you get something that's like gonna put you in front of bigger crowds, make you more money, then absolutely, we're not gonna hold you back from that. And you know, he's still.
I would have way stopped him. Been like, dude, you're not good enough for this. No,
you can't quit. You're fired. Get out of here.
Just said right away,
like, you want to feel good for your friends. You want to feel beneficial and be like, dude, if you're gonna nail this position, you're gonna get this spot on a good band, like. Fucking go for it, dude.
Absolutely.
And like he's a ripping drummer.
He's
like,
a great drummer.
I know whatever he goes to, he can absolutely kill it.
And you know, since then he's helped us. He helped us complete this EP, for Christ's sake. 3 out of 4 of the songs, like he wrote not only the drum compositions for, but he's helped out with things like other instrumentally for other things, like helping him out with bass, helping me out with writing different guitar parts and stuff like that. Overall, he is a wonderful guy and musician, and
he's a great songwriter.
Yeah,
like he's added things into some of the songs that we are going to be putting out soon that I wouldn't have thought of.
Yeah, absolutely.
I got some one or the others for you guys that I want to just throw out there. This way we can get a better feel for your character, magazine style. If you're at that age where, you know, you've had to take a magazine quiz before and then you flip it upside down to see if you're an asshole or not, you know, they'll tell you or whatever. Now, Facebook kind of has those things and different apps, and where you're just like, click this app to see what kind of animal you are from the continent of Africa. and you're like, I don't think I should do this because it feels fucking stupid, and I'd feel stupid for doing that. But then when you see one of your
feels
friends
virusy.
You see a couple of your friends do it, or click this button and we'll tell you what your guardian angel looks like while stealing your identity. I mean, hacking your Facebook. I mean, fuck you. Click the button. So I got some ones right here. Taylor Swift or Britney Spears? Who is more inspiring to you, Taylor Swift or Britney Spears?
Britney, bitch.
It's Britney,
bitch. Going Britney. Dan, what do you got?
Come on, Dan.
Britney.
Going Britney.
Yeah,
Britney.
Dan sounds like a follower right
We
now.
got a hands
I
down
would have went
Britney.
Taylor. I would have went Tay all the way.
And I like Taylor Swift, but Britney has it for me.
Britney's got it. Same here. I would find her much more appealing right there. Okay. Better mass murderer. Hitler or Stalin? Okay.
Like better at mass murdering?
Yeah, better at the idea. You know, like if the goal was to do
Better at
that.
the idea.
Dan.
What did Sparky come up with this game?
Dan, what do you think?
There are no wrong answers, by the way,
It's
guys.
obvious.
Both of these historical characters were pretty good at mass murder. Like
Hitler,
if you had to bet somebody's body.
All
All right,
Hitler.
Dan's going Hitler.
I think it's Stalin. I'm on. I don't want to say I'm on Team Stalin here, but I'm saying Stalin.
I would also go
murder
Stalin
is-
as well.
We're all saying murder is a bad thing to do. Okay, so
Yeah,
if you're
sure.
saying who's better at the bad thing, we're just saying who's the worst person in this. But
Yeah,
also
just by character alone.
Yeah.
Character alone.
If I'm judging their characters, Hitler's worse.
That man just wanted an art degree. That's all he
That's all
wanted.
he wanted.
All
He
he
wanted
wanted,
to go on
He
tour
just
with
wanted
his
an
wife.
art degree and to do a bunch of meth. That's
Well,
all
that's
the man
fucked up thing.
wanted.
People are like, don't worry about these robots. All they're doing is painting. It's like, dude, that's how Hitler started out. You know, they just
We're on the verge of finding another one of them.
we're getting there. I think it's unanimous for Hitler is the better mass murderer right here. Okay, here's an easier one for you. Tom Hanks or Tom Selleck? Remember, the only reason I chose these guys is because whenever you see any one of them in a movie, they're not playing a character anymore. They're too famous for that. They're just playing themselves. That just happens to be in the movie.
I think I gotta go. I gotta go with Hanks.
I knew you were gonna go with.
Yeah, I
Hanks.
gotta go with Hanks.
I'm going with Selleck because when he was younger, he was way hotter.
Yeah.
Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks.
Going Tom Hanks. Okay, all right. Cowboys or Eagles?
Well, are we talking like the people or are we talking the football teams? Because
We are talking the football teams.
because anybody will tell you I know absolutely nothing about football. I just learned what a first down was maybe like a year
We're
ago.
gonna skip that one then. We're gonna skip that one. Something that kind of involves football a little bit. Michael Vick versus Pitbull the rapper. Who wins?
I gotta go with Vic.
I think instinctively Vic just starts to fight him with another dog, and he's like, "This one doesn't look the same." And you're like, "Dude, what the fuck?"
Oh yeah, if they're fighting, yeah, Vic.
Yeah.
Wait, are they
No
doing a
holds
match
barred
to
in the
death or
octagon.
what?
Well, speaking of fights, we have Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul. May I remind everyone,
Mhm.
Mike Tyson is 57 years old, and
Yeah.
Jake Paul does not have a brain to knock out.
Yeah,
That's true. That's true. You raise a good point there.
Yeah, you can hit that guy in the head a bunch of times. His brain's just gonna fucking be
What is
there.
it, 50, 57, 29?
Yeah, 20, 27. He's pretty young.
Right around there?
Yeah.
God, is he our age? That hurts.
Yeah, he's our age. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God, you know
So if
I'm
you
gonna
guys
go.
had to pick Mike Tyson, Jake Paul.
I want to say Tyson just for nostalgic purposes because I really don't like Jake Paul.
It feels wrong in my soul to say anything other than Tyson.
Yeah, right, exactly.
I've heard the
Exactly.
same sentiment before, and it was always when the fight between Muhammad Ali and Larry Holmes was going on. They said, "No way, Muhammad Ali is going to lose to this joke, fucking Larry Holmes." And what happens? Muhammad Ali was taken out of the ring in a stretcher, screaming, "I want Holmes!" It's like, dude, what happened to him right there? We have just one more, and I promise this is the last one. Nickelodeon or Disney?
Nickelodeon.
Okay.
Even with all the crap coming out.
Nickelodeon.
I heard it's all that.
I never watched Disney Channel when I was a kid. I
No,
never
I
watched
didn't
it.
either.
Okay, so you just
Here and there,
strictly,
but-
yeah, the Disney kids were kind of privileged, because you had to have money for it. I remember the Disney shows that they weren't using anymore. They'd give to ABC Saturday morning bullshit. They're like, well, we're not using this anymore.
Well, even some of the biggest pop stars of that era, your Justin Timberlake, your Britney Spears, all started out on Disney. So
On the,
Yeah.
like Clubhouse.
The difference between Doug on Nickelodeon and Doug on Disney is in Nickelodeon, they didn't want him because he got too old, and then Disney took him. They didn't want to fuck him anymore.
Yeah, I completely forgot that Doug went from Nickelodeon to Disney at one point. Oh my God.
Yeah, he jumped ship. They're like, hey, Doug, you aged 2 years, so you're fired.
Bye.
He's like, what the fuck? What's going
I sure
on?
don't want you anymore.
now you guys have done a little bit of the touring, of course, New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania. What's the furthest particular gig that you guys have been?
Oh man. I can't even remember.
I don't think we've really played too many that are that far from us.
No, I mean, for you guys, maybe compared to like the drive that I was making when I was in Philly.
True. I mean, for me, I think the Kennett Flash is probably the furthest one I went to.
Yeah.
That was like 2.5 hour drive.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I'd have to. Yeah, we probably. Well, that was only. Yeah, then again, that was only like an hour drive for me. Yeah, probably the Kennett Flash. We played there a couple times. Over in Kennett Square. Mike Hahn, the guy who runs the whole place, he's a great guy, and he's always been willing to have us come through and play like whenever we wanted. And yeah, I gotta go with them. For them, it was like, what'd you say, like 2.5 hours, something like that?
Yeah.
For them, it was like a 2.5 hour drive. For me, it was like an hour away from my apartment in Philadelphia.
Now, there's a growing number of musicians that have had this happen to them, and I just was wondering if it's ever happened to you. Has anyone ever thrown anything at you on stage while you're on stage performing?
I don't think so.
No.
Wait,
No.
Daniel has an answer for this.
No, we no.
All right.
No, we've never gotten things thrown at us.
As much
No,
as
we
Dan.
Have you ever yelled at anybody to get off their cell phones too, or no?
No.
No.
Wow,
No,
how
you-
can I tell that they're younger than Tool, Tony? How can I tell?
99% of the time, if they got their phones up high enough you can see them, they're recording us, and go right ahead.
Yeah, absolutely.
That makes me feel good.
Yeah.
Thank you. See what I mean, Tony? Proved my point right there. Incubus, remember Incubus? They'd always have at their concerts, no smoking. Fuck you, man. Are you serious? I just saw somebody smoking crack in the parking lot. Now they're in here hanging out, doing shit. And they're shaming you about your
It
cigarette.
may have been the band before they actually showed up on stage.
Might have been.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like some Incubus songs, but I gotta say, if I were to go to an Incubus show, I think I might need to smoke to
Yeah,
stay.
absolutely.
The difference is that when bands that get really big, they really forget of what it felt like when no one came to their show and no one cared to record them, and they're begging their friends to just, hey, hit it up with your cell phone or come there with an actual camera and just be there, and so that way we can have tapes and copies and send it out.
Yeah.
And then now they're at that certain point where they're just like pissed that people have one person, especially in that Tool concert, had one better thing to do. Now, dude, I do stand-up comedy, right? If somebody's on their cell phone and I need to call them out for it, how bad am I on stage right now? How uninteresting am I compared to the rest of your competition on your phone? I must suck. You see, that must be like halfway through the show where you do have people, they want to reach for the cell phone, and people are normally looking to get the best experience out of every moment of their life. And sometimes after song number 9 from Tool, it's not you anymore. It's just better on your cell phone to look at something else for the moment. Just the way that the new generation's programmed up there. Not saying that it's not a rude thing to do, but a stupid thing to do is now for the thousands of people that are out there watching you and enjoying the show. You stop the show just to point out the one person that isn't. And it feels like a dumb move. It feels like a missed opportunity. And it's like an ego trip. Like, why would that one person on a cell phone really set you off that hard?
Don't forget, even if they are on their phone, they still paid money to come see you. It is disrespectful to the people that spent their hard-earned money to come and be there at your show to just call them out and make them feel like garbage.
Agreed.
Yeah, and especially like now everyone knows who the band that they love and adore doesn't like. So now you've just put a target on their back. Violence might be taken out of them in the parking lot, in a mosh pit, and you never know. Like, you just really mess with their lives just because they're on their cell phone. How fragile are your egos while making millions and millions of dollars where you need to point that out? It's a sad sort of thing. You know what I do whenever I'm at a show and I feel the need to do so sometimes? I'll get my cell phone, I'll go Facebook Live and goddamn point it at myself and just get the crowd into it that way. You know, you know, who can break up the monotony that way? For people that didn't come out to the show, well, this is what you're missing for maybe a good 20 seconds and then click, we're off, no big deal.
Yeah.
Not that to say the rule of clickbait has taken over a lot of people's lives. So, you know, social media has been a big thing. As far as Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or X, whatever. But in particular, I was looking up on ranker.com, and Ranker actually has this thing where they actually tell you who was the musicians and bands who don't allow phones at their shows.
There's a list.
There's a list of actual musicians that don't allow them at their shows in general.
Now let's see if they're over 30. Now let's see if these musicians are over 35 or not.
Every freaking single one of them. Bob Dylan, #1.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
First of all, I've gone to a Dylan concert on my cell phone. He's about 84 years old right now.
You're just phoning death right now.
I'm pretty sure he's not policing it that much. He's not like, hold on. How can he fucking possibly see that far out into the crowd? Bob Dylan does not. Okay.
Second one on the list is Beyonce.
Oh, Beyonce. Wow. You know, get your Beyonce feels like she's turned into one of those girls like, I'll get my boyfriend to beat you up. You know, it's like, go fuck yourself, man. What? Yeah. Jay-Z comes by and he's like, don't make me have to work out for this. What the fuck?
That feels like a long yourself become the villain moment.
Right? Yeah. So Beyonce, no, even though she came from nothing, and then now she's at that don't record me phase.
She actually came out with a small stipulation in the thing. It was a 2013 concert in Atlanta, and she said, "See, you can't even sing because you're too busy taping." She told the audience member, "I'm right in your face, baby. You gotta seize this moment, baby. Put that damn camera down." And apparently it was all on tape. So
everybody gets to choose how they get to relive that moment over and over and over again. Instead of like, what if they have a brain injury and they'll never be able to remember this again? You know, like they're fucking idiots.
Believe it or not, Cyndi Lauper has hit that list.
Oh,
I know. You know what? She's hit that list time after time, Tony.
Time after time.
So bad.
Believe it or not, for her 30th anniversary debut album, She's So Unusual, Cyndi Lauper played an announcement before each show, telling fans not to take film or pictures.
So girls just don't you know, girls want
to have fun, but not her.
Record your show.
Yeah.
And post it to the internet.
Want the crowd to have fun.
Yeah.
She apparently said, what are you doing? What are you doing?
She apparently said, quote unquote, just chill. Stop being a bitch. Good old Cyndi Lauper.
She was actually on an interview.
Keys is on that list.
I had to troll one of her interviews on Twitter the one time just to be a dick, and because she was on there as a live thing about her talking about women's rights, and it was about abortion, which is fucking just even more fun to troll about because I don't care really. So she was talking about a woman's right for her own body and going that route. So I troll and put in the replies. I said, what if the fetus is a woman as well? What about her body?
Wow.
You know that kind of comment is
that's a bold statement.
Oh yeah. It's just meant to flip people out internally. Like I don't really care, at all. It's just unless I'm, a fetus fighting a hanger at the moment, then I'm like, oh fuck, this is real. Why can't I vote?
Alicia Keys makes the list, of course.
Oh my God. So no to Alicia Keys concerts, I guess. We can't record them.
No.
You know what? Everybody should turn off their recording devices too then.
Yeah. Believe it or not, the Lumineers made the list.
Okay.
I got phones
Did they have like one?
They were like a one-hit wonder, weren't they?
Yeah, that Hey Ho song.
Yeah, that one. Hey, no phone song.
Hey, no fans. Oh, hey.
The Lumineers. Jesus.
Can't say I've thought about them in a long time.
You don't hear a lot of it, and which I hated them to begin with and always have hated them. Mumford and Sons. Fucking can't stand them.
I can't think of a song.
I know I'd know it if I heard it. If you were to know, if you were even, they're kind of in like not that they're similar in any way, but they're kind of in the same realm as like the Grateful Dead for me. If you were to play with me one of their songs, I would not be able to tell you who it was.
Daniel could tell a Mumford song right off the bat. Go ahead, Dan.
I have no idea.
No fucking clue. Excellent. Let's turn this shit around, Sparky. Let's see what you got on the big board.
Madonna doesn't preach recordings. That's right in your face. Oh God, I'm melting. Sparky, explain your work there.
Don't really have to. You ought to know.
Absolutely.
No, we're gonna explain it for you. That is Madonna sitting in the chair, and she's spewing acid from her vagina. You
know what? More power to her.
Well, Madonna's vagina is more of its own life entity than people would expect. It is, yeah. So why is she spewing all over that dude there, Sparky? What's going on there?
That was her bacterial infection.
Oh, so they were trying to record her vagina singing because most of the time her vagina does all the singing. And that's why her live performances are just her lip syncing to what her vagina was singing earlier that day.
It's literal lip syncing.
Yeah.
I mean, she's got to stay relevant somehow, right?
Yeah, somehow.
The weekend can only carry her so far.
You get a little lift, a little tuck, a little,
Yeah, her NFT graph looks like a clit.
If you guys thought of the next person on the list who is a multi-million-dollar investor in MGM gambling right now, you would be correct in saying Bruno Mars fits the list.
Bruno Mars. Interesting.
Yes.
I'd catch fucking AIDS for you, AIDS. Make some fresh lemonade for you.
He scolded fans while we're filming him rather than paying attention. It is our duty to get you dancing, he said. You can't do that when you're filming the show, can you now?
God fucking help you if you record Uptown Funk. God fucking help you.
Think I can't dance when I'm holding a phone? I can't dance anyway.
I like how record companies said to themselves one day, they're like, okay, Michael Jackson's dead. What's plan B?
Well, he also came out with the statement that the statement's fucking quality gold. It's gold. He said, in the old days, if you went into a show with a video camera to record it, you'd be lucky to leave with your camera. Now everybody brings their smartphones and records everything. I'd like people to come to the shows and enjoy them like they did in the old days.
Back in my day, we played with hoops and sticks.
If my grandmother had wheels, she'd be a bus.
Hey, this is what I want. This is what I want to happen. If these guys are dead serious on no cell phones, then put on a free show for the Amish. Okay? Because they're not going to have any cell phones, and they've been waiting on a free show. Put up or shut up. Bunch of bullshit, Tony. No one wants to do a free show for the Amish, yet they all want no electronics at their concert. It's
the next three people on the list, believe it or not, are like, inconsequential Jack White, fucking Bjork.
Okay. If people are going to Bjork concerts now, she's like, by the way, if you will go to my concert one day, no recording. Like, who are you again, lady?
I feel like Jack White makes sense, and just that he's like just really weird. I could just see anything from him. Nothing would surprise me.
Yeah. And a band called She and Him.
Who? No, I have no idea.
I had no idea who they were either. Daniel looks like he knows who they are, but
I don't.
Daniel, who are they?
No clue.
I don't know.
The hell, that just sounds like a band that like got famous and then quickly got canceled by people. She and Him. Hold on now.
Hold on a second here.
Maybe they were on an iPod Nano commercial once or something. I couldn't tell you.
iPod Nano. Yeah. Remember when the Apple gave everybody a free U2 song and they're like, "How do I get this off my phone?" They're like,
"Oh, they got a whole album.
How do I get this shit off my account?" That's the cool part. You don't. It's just there.
I guess I'm an Android guy now.
Like a LinkedIn account.
I'll pay more to not have to listen to YouTube.
Yeah. Which South Park did prove that Bono is just one big piece of shit.
True.
Yeah.
Guys, so we're gonna wrap up a little bit. Couple final questions. Secret to your success right now. Is it hitting the grind? Is it practice? What type of big thing would you say to up and coming bands that are trying to make it as far as advice?
If I had anything to say to, because I've, believe it or not, I've actually had like other like locals that are like trying to start their own things hit me up and say, "Hey, where do I go from here? How do I start?" And I think number one, have a vision or like some sort of idea of what you want to do. Number two, practice, perfect your craft. Like, make sure that what you're making is up at the level that it needs to be. Because like you said, there's an oversaturation of artists these days. And number three, and this is one that we have been trying to work on within the last year, that social media presence, man.
That matters a lot. That is how people find you.
Mm-hmm. I've started posting us on like TikTok and stuff like that, like every other day, something like that, and just constant stream of like thinking of what to post, content and crap like that. That's more important than the music sometimes, because how are you drawing people in to want to even look at your product?
It is, and you know what? It does tend to snowball. The people that do add the Podguyz Podcast onto their Spotify playlist tend to never take us off of their playlist. Ever. And guys, well, the one thing I was wondering, like you have people come up to you asking you for advice, and I always say the people that ask for advice on how to get started are doing that because it helps their procrastination on never getting started. Do you ever end up seeing these people on stage doing things, or no?
I mean, I think we can all say in our time as a band in these how many years that we've been doing this, that we've seen plenty of people, try to come to the table with whatever they're trying to do, and they don't see anything happening right away, and then out the window it's just gone.
They kind of don't understand. You have to grind for it.
Yeah,
you have to keep grinding.
Mm-hmm. You gotta love it. You gotta hate it. Blood, sweat, and tears. That's an actual thing. And obviously we're nowhere that we would like to be. But
the other thing is don't get too down on your bad days and don't get too up on your good days. That's to find that happy medium. You get some shows. I've had some shows before where it's just like you got 15 people in the crowd, no one's getting a laugh, and it's just like, I'm not going to feel bad about this show. And then you got other ones where there's 200-300 people out there, you're kicking ass, doing your thing, jokes are going off great, but I'm not going to be like way too high up on that either, because there's on to the next show. There's getting back to zero, which is the final.
Absolutely.
There. And do you guys find that you're disciplined in getting back to zero and on to the next focus, getting on to the next album?
We're always focusing on like what's the next step, what's next.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we just finished this show. What's going on next? Do we need to practice for this? Are we writing more songs? Are we setting up studio time? Are we setting up video shoots? Whatever we need to do. Like we're always looking at what the next goal is. You know, what regardless of how it ends up turning out for us, we're always looking to keep going.
No, I think the big thing, not necessarily for me, but Kevin was more of a band person than I was. I played a little bit of drums, but like there was the passion and drive that you have to have in order to reach the next pinnacle of whatever you're looking for. So let's say you have and I hate to use the word dream board. But when you're making like a dream board and you say, hey, man, how can I happen to reach this plateau so that when we're good, we could reach for other goals? So do you have a goal calendar or like a dream board for the band in general? Or is it just like, oh, man, this is a banging song. We'll put it out. We'll put it on social media. We'll see what happens. And then you get really disappointed when you find out like 30 people saw it.
Yeah. Actually, the dream board idea, that's an excellent idea that we actually should do. That's a wonderful idea, because mainly like that's kind of how we've operated.
I wouldn't say I ever get disappointed when, say, like we put out a song and like it doesn't do that well. Oh well, we made that song for us.
Yeah.
Like, do I want us to blow up? Absolutely. But at the end of the day, I'm happy with what we do.
And
have you guys thought of not necessarily even switching genres, but fitting into something a little bit softer so that it creates more of an outpour to more of a mainstream audience?
Oh, for sure. Like the whole album that we have out right now, the Move Right On album, there's the heavy songs on there and everything, but at the same time, you listen through that, you'll find plenty of the radio rock-esque songs. One of the songs on the EP, it's the last song, it's called The Death of Me. That's probably the radio rock song on the EP, and I think it's one of the catchier choruses that I've ever written. I think that one came out pretty well. That song basically was like back in those days when I was by myself. It's like if I would have written a whole song the same way I did back then, but just right now.
And like taking everything we've learned and applying
and
it to,
implementing
to
it
what
to
you
that.
would have wanted to hear back then.
Yeah.
And what kind of drugs are you guys on right now?
Right now, I am stone cold sober, brother.
What?
Just a little nicotine.
Yeah, just some Nick.
Just a Nick, old Nick.
Yeah, that's it.
How about Daniel? Daniel, are you on any methamphetamine?
Oh, he's on it all.
I can't divulge. I can't divulge that information.
Man, he's tripping balls right now.
He's living a dream right now.
Yeah. No, so you guys don't, Mike, you don't drink at all, or?
So when I was probably between the ages of 18 to 21, 22, especially the year that I spent in college and everything like that, I kind of got a lot of the drinking out of my system around that time. And then, I discovered good old Mary Jane, and I thought, oh, well, how can I go back? But no, I don't exactly. I work in a bar as well, so drinking's the last thing on my mind, like 90% of the time.
Yeah, that is one thing with bartending where you tend not to drink as much as you used to because of the whole thing. But yeah, no, I was always wondering. I'm like, I wonder how many drugs these guys are on or anybody's on, at the moment. It's one question to kind of ask. And do you guys kind of do you ever embrace a writer's block as a challenge to creativity?
For me, yeah, absolutely. There have been plenty of times over the years where I have lyrics written, for example, and they've just been sitting for years, or I've had like a cool riff that I put together on guitar. Same thing with Dan, same thing with Andy. We've all sat on things from time to time, but it's always nice like when we finally come together and decide, okay, let's actually try something with this now. Let's pick each of our brains to see like what we can do with this idea, and we try to force ourselves to push through like a writer's block or something like that.
A specific example, like you mentioned the last track on the EP, The Death of Me. One of the riffs in that song we've had written for 2-3 years now.
I'd say probably around
maybe more.
Probably 3 years at this point.
And we finally found a way, like, oh, we can finally use this. We can slip this in here, spice it up a little bit. And I think something that we've kind of grown with in the last like 2-3 years is working together more. Because a lot of the early time in the band, we would kind of come up with ideas on our own. A lot of one of the songs on the last album, I wrote a majority of the song for that. And like you write a lot of the songs. Like Dan writes a lot of the riffs. And with this EP and with some of the later songs on the last album, I feel like we've kind of come together as a unit and written together, brought all our ideas together rather than just try to each do it on our own and have like a here's what I have.
Yeah. It's very.
And how many Middle Eastern people or Indian people have come up to your Facebook profile saying that they're going to promote your stuff for you?
Lamberto Sanchez.
Oh yes, good old Lamberto Sanchez.
So a few years ago, we got a whole like spreadsheet and everything sent to us from this guy. His name was Lamberto Sanchez.
Lamberto. That doesn't sound like a real fucking name.
I think he was from like Argentina
Dan's cousin
or something
right now.
like that.
That sounds like a knockoff version of a Lamborghini. Like, can't afford a Lamborghini. Drives like a douche. Lamberto.
Yeah, and it was probably one of those bots that I hear so much about.
I would think so.
Because
my wife was a robot this whole time. Fuck.
Wait, I want to hear what's on the spreadsheet. What was on the spreadsheet?
It was basically a whole big like marketing spreadsheet on like things that we could do to people we could contact. I haven't looked at it in
Was
years.
it an Excel spreadsheet that he sent you? Just like a copy?
Not exactly. It was like
was it like from an old 1980s Epson printer with the little holes up in the
side? It kind of looked like that, yeah. Like with the artwork and stuff that were on it.
It came from a third world country.
Yeah, like it wasn't written by someone over here.
But Lamberto became like a running gag in the band for a hot minute.
For a hot minute, we were talking, well, what's Lamberto up to today?
My God, you should have named the band that.
True. We're going to rebrand right now.
Rebranded right now. So we got Lamberto in the comments right here, guys. He says that he made you. No, I'm joking. He's not in the comments, but
no, Lamberto said I'm stoned as fuck right now.
Lamberto, if you're out there, Phazed is looking for your leadership for their band marketing right now.
We're begging.
Lamberto, I'm still thinking about you, baby.
Lamberto sounds like
we're a nice when Lamberto is all you think about.
Lamberto sounds like a diet chocolate that makes you shit.
Lamberto sounds like it's my uncle that touches me.
Lamberto sounds like the rapist on Law and Order SVU.
Oh
no! Or the date rape
on the doll.
Have you, Lamberto?
Holy Lord.
Daniel, you're like the wet fart of the band, man. You are silent but deadly. Is there any type of advice that you would offer as well, Dan?
I mean, Michael.
Nothing. Excellent, sir. Come on.
Michael pretty much put it out there, but if there's one thing that I would have to say to people that are starting out, if you're going into it thinking that you're going to be an overnight sensation, you're never going to make it. You got to work for it. I mean,
hard as shit, man. It's hard as shit.
I mean, that's like, there's so much that goes into being in a band and writing music. There's so many different aspects to these things. Like you're not just gonna go out there and put a song out and blow up. Like it doesn't happen like that.
But come on, now I've seen a lot of movies where they just do one song and then there's that guy out there in the audience and he's like, hold on, I'm also a famous record producer, man. And you're like,
Limberto.
Wow,
yeah, maybe 30, 40 years ago that happened, but not in this day.
Maybe maybe it was just to make the plot of the movie go along. Or they're like, let's insert man here and,
Yeah, shit. It's not the same as, not putting together a couple songs, setting up some shows and putting up flyers everywhere.
But back in the day, like decades ago, record companies would send out scouts to live shows to see what was going on in the scene.
Yep.
And now they're just scanning TikTok for music. Like they don't send people out to shows.
Easier for themselves to see how much draw you actually do have, rather than how much draw you think you could possibly have. They want a made product right off the rip. And when they get that made product, even then they want to take whatever they can from you just to push your fame level all the way to the tippity top.
Mm-hmm. They don't want to invest in something.
Exactly. The more money that they can save, like right now, Spotify, 30% of Spotify is owned by Google. So that just tells you one thing. Well, Spotify's program that they've used, and they're hitting the same wall that iHeartRadio kept hitting by getting more people to subscribe, and even the advertising ratio to subscriber ratio is never really enough, to the point where even artists are like, hey, we want more fucking money off of this. Then everybody complains about Joe Rogan getting 10 million a year off of 10-year deal from Spotify, saying like, oh, how dare he make money? Do you know how much I made and no one's even heard who the fuck I am? It's like, yeah, exactly. No one knows who you are, so you made less money, sort of thing. We don't complain. We get some t-shirt money every now and then, some Spotify money. Sometimes people send Tony some stars, and we'll make a little bit here and there, but nothing insane. Nothing where we're like, well, indoor living will never have to retire.
And that's the funny thing. Like even with like a smaller band like us with some marginal success, we have like one song on our Spotify with over 100K streams. Even that we've made maybe a couple $100 off of Spotify.
Oh yeah, for the last since 2016, since I've been uploading songs for streaming and everything like that, grand total hundreds of thousands of streams that we got. We made $500,
and it could have been zero. That's the thing. It could have been zero, and you would have still put it out there. That's
absolutely
that's somewhat a nominal appreciation thing, where Spotify can then say, here you are. That's our research and development fee for you guys, because that's basically what they're there for. They're there for record companies and that.
No, I think the big thing, not necessarily that a lot of bands will kind of neglect this particular behavior, but when you guys are practicing, do you say, holy shit, Dan's on fucking fire today, hitting this riff out of nowhere, and you're like, we should really capitalize on that particular part?
I kind of say that about Dan every time we practice.
Dan is on fire every time. Dan speaks through his guitar.
Dan literally speaks through his guitar.
He's a quiet boy in here, but when he's on that guitar, he'll converse with it.
Absolutely.
Like a Peter Frampton speaking, like wow, wow, wow.
Like he'll hit a riff to show his displeasure with Michael. I can tell you that.
That's great.
It's true. It's true. If you hear like a little melancholy, clean guitar riff coming out of him, like he's finger picking and everything, you're like, oh, okay, I guess Dan had a rough day at work or something like that.
He takes his.
And is there any truth to this?
Yeah,
it's a running gag. I just do it for the meme. At this point, it's
I just do it for the TikTok views.
Yeah, I just do it to shut him up.
You hear some distortion guitar from the bathroom. You're like, damn, we told you no more Taco Bell. What the
Kevin, we're gonna end the show out, but we're gonna end it a la the Podguyz Podcast style.
Now,
we ask the same question for every one of our guests, of course. Kevin, please.
I have to ask you guys. Now, you've done a lot of shows. You've been on the Big Break competition, season 3. You've killed it doing that idea. And you have many shows coming up. But let's call it a day when we can call it a day. Is this what you would call the peak of your career, being on the Podguyz Podcast right now?
Yes.
Boom. There it is.
We got a yes. I'm taking it. We're taking it. Add it to the list there,
We'll
Sparky.
take number 3.
Add it to the list. Now we do have some people that say yes, and some people also just slam the door on that idea, and they get so insulted.
No, we've actually interviewed actors, directors, writers, musicians, you name it. We've talked to them.
We started that gimmick up when Larry Hankin was on.
Oh yeah. But guys, I have to roll out the red carpet for you. What is your next show, and what is your next big entourage following that you have these wonderful yellow tickets for?
All right, so
I got a loose one right here.
The next big thing we got go on, April 5th, the music video for our new song Ragnarok drops. Is going to be on Facebook and YouTube, and the song is going to be wherever you can stream music. Our next show is April 19th at the Sherman Showcase in Stroudsburg. Then one after that, no, not the one after that, the one a month after that, we're playing at Reverb in Reading, opening for...
That's a big one. It's a big
Cattle
one.
Decapitation and Carnifex. We have tickets, and if anybody would like one, hit up the band page, hit one of us up on our personals, and we'll make sure we get you a ticket as soon as we can.
Throw me a link as well. We'll put it on our Facebook fan page as well. Try to get you guys as many tickets sold as possible. I know Stroudsburg is a huge area for going to see some amazing talent. So. All right. Well, that brings our conclusion for today. Guys, I want to thank you very much for coming on the show. I really appreciate your time. Sparky, where can you happen to find us?
You can find us on every single major streaming platform out there, including Spotify, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, Deezer, Castbox, Pocket Cast, GeoRio, Google, YouTube, Facebook Live Video. Let's see. Well, yeah. Yeah. I think that's everything, isn't it?
Wait, did you say YouTube?
I said YouTube.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, we're on every single streaming platform that you can find. Guys, check out Phazed, 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 Phazed. Mike, Andy, Daniel, thank you guys very much for taking your time out as well. Check out their link, buy a ticket, go to the Sherman Showcase. It's gonna be awesome. Can't wait to see you guys. Guys, we're the Podguyz Podcast. Like we do every Monday, 10:15 Eastern Standard Time. I'm Tony Kaz.
Kevin Neary.
Of course, the ever-loving Picasso. Les Sparke. Megan, give him a call. Other than that, guys, make sure you share, like below, subscribe, do whatever you need to do down in the corner. Hit the bell. Later, guys.